Hi, I'm Darryn Scheske. I'm the lead pastor at Heartland Church here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I've come to believe that God has a special covenant relationship between pastors and business people. They need us, and we need them. And I learned this from my dear friend Lee Domain and the team at Kingdom Builders. Lee's really impacted my life and our church in a great way by giving us practical tools to connect us with our business people and to build Heartland's legacy team, people who serve our church with their spiritual gift of generosity. And for years, I've tried to figure out how we can best serve our business leaders because so many of them can't serve in the conventional ways of church life due to their schedule, their business commitments. So when I was connected to Lee and his ministry, Kingdom Builders, a couple of years ago, Lee came right in, hit the ground running with our team, and he assessed our needs, and then he gave us a strategic plan to help us effectively implement a legacy team. And this legacy team has really changed all kinds of things in our church. He walked us through the whole process. He continues to be a voice of wisdom. He's such a good friend, and he's helping us every step of the way. And implementing this team has been a game changer for our church and for me personally. Because of Lee's business background and his current role as the legacy pastor at the Church of the Highlands, he was able to help us communicate, really to translate the language of business people in the marketplace in the language that pastors talk. And he helped us understand how they could be a blessing to the church and help those business leaders understand that they have a redemptive calling. And he gave us everything we needed to create a place, to build a place for those people with this gift of giving to serve in our church. Now, I've seen people at my church who didn't even know there was such a thing as the spiritual gift of giving, discover that gift inside of them, and then start using it, and it's brought incredible joy into their life. One businesswoman in our church saw the vision that we had to reach 1 million people in an unreached people group in China, and because she knew her gifting now, and she saw her calling to make a difference, she called us and she said, "I want to do all that. Count me in," and she underwrote the entire vision in one moment. In a single moment, everything we'd been dreaming of doing for people was done, and I couldn't even imagine that was possible. I mean, to know now that we get to dream, God, what more would you have us do in that area of the world? It's incredible. And prior to the COVID-19 crisis, 85% of our giving was already being transacted online. And that kind of commitment to generosity had already been established in our church, which allowed us to give away in the last year over $700,000 to our outreach partners locally and around the world. And that was all before the crisis. In fact, we were so well positioned, we were ready to respond instantaneously in the crisis and stand in the gap for the increased hunger relief, for personal protective gear, for healthcare workers. And we were able to just respond, and all of that because legacy giving just began to soar in recent weeks. Little did we know that God had us pre-fund many of our partners' work so that they could be ready and better prepared for this crisis. And none of this would have been possible without our legacy team. So I've heard so many times that the local church is the hope of the world, but that's not going to happen without marketplace leaders. And it's so important now more than ever that business people and pastors come together to advance the kingdom of God.